Hi there, this is an open video, not an open letter, but an open video for Member of Parliament Michelle Rempel. Hi Michelle, I use this format because the spoken word is sometimes more personal and it can convey emotions and feelings better than a written letter. Michelle, I come to you to really ask you to help the fellow Canadians. And this time I think we need to do something outside of politics. We need to not look at who's conservative, who's liberal, who's NDP. We need to look at a very, very serious issue where I think the base of it all is that we are losing our democracy as we know it. And Michelle, I know you are fighting for the rights of Canadians and for democracy of Canada, and you are very concerned of what's going on in Ottawa since the so-called pandemic hit. I don't know if any of the politicians in Ottawa has ever taken the time to look into just the word pandemic. An epidemic is when you have an outbreak of a disease that overrides the normal death rate of other years, or like when you look back in history and you say, okay, now we have like whatever 5%, 10%, 50% more or higher death rate than in a normal year. That would be an epidemic. If that happens worldwide, it is a pandemic. Both of those parameters, to call it a pandemic or an epidemic, has never happened worldwide. We have to look at what divides people more and more. And as you know, Michelle, the biggest thing is we live in a culture of division. We have the culture of division from Christians to Muslims, from women to men. We have a division from the conservatives to the liberals. And I think our democracy in Canada has come to almost a still stand. I don't see it. I don't see it on federal level, and I don't see it on provincial level anymore. And I'm hugely concerned. Michelle, I want to tell you, I'm an immigrant that came 22 years ago from Germany. And I didn't flee for any economical reasons. I had a great business in Germany. I came to Canada for one reason only. I came for freedom. And in Germany at the time, 22 years ago, there was still freedom there, but I saw the signs that our democracy is failing more and more, and we built such a huge bureaucracy that the freedom of people, the freedom of choice, is taken more and more away. I'm the father of 4 children, and I wanted to move to a country where I can see their future bright and in freedom, and empower children to live to their fullest potential in a free country. Unfortunately, now, 22 years later, I have the feeling that all those dreams and those aspirations to move to Canada, to give my children this place in our world where they can express themselves to their fullest, is starting to fail me. I became a grandpa just over a month ago for my younger daughter. And while I succeeded in the last 22 years for my children to all choose the education, their occupation of their choice, and they are all really, really great members of society with a huge social heart. They want to help other people, they want to be there, and they want to see a change for the better in our future in their ways, in what they think is important. And now my grandchild is born, and I'm looking into the future. I'm looking into the next year and in the next 10 years. I'm starting to worry. I taught my children to see the world for what it is and not what they get told. I always try to open their little brains, their little minds, and their eyes and ears to see everything unfolding in front of their eyes and see if the messages that come through the media are true. So they are critical thinkers. Michelle, my hope, the hope that I have to recover our democracy and our free Canada, the Canada that we all come to love, no matter if we are born here or if we immigrated here as the country of choice. Sometimes I think immigrants, first generation immigrants like me that came really to this country, have maybe even a greater appreciation and maybe even more patriotism for this country, because it's their country of choice. They are not just born into the country, they choose the country to come to. Michelle, my hope is that what we see happening in Germany right now, in my back home country, where there is millions of people marching the streets and saying enough is enough, and we don't want to be little puppets from the UN or from the World Health Organization. We want to be free people, and we want to take free choices. We want to be able to say we want to wear a mask or we don't want to wear a mask without having to pay fines for that. Or that people can choose what they want to do with their bodies, if they want to work with natural remedies or if they want to go with the modern medicine and the pharmacy. And also for vaccination, it should never be mandatory to tell people what they have to put in their bodies. So Michelle, my plea for you, and it's really like I'm begging you for that. Can you please come and help the people of Canada by supporting the demonstration or the event? And we should be so careful with how we choose our words nowadays. It shouldn't be a demonstration. It should be a festival of peace. It should be the walk of freedom that we really try to put to the streets of Canada. We don't want to be the rioters. We don't want to smash down windows, cars, smear on walls or anything like that. We are peaceful citizens of Canada that are rightfully very, very concerned for our democracy and our freedoms. And we want to be we want to be heard. If you are in the Calgary region, I would so appreciate if you could come out, if you could prepare maybe a speech. You are a very good speaker. You're not like me with English as a second language. You are somebody who can talk the common sense. You can talk the language of people. And it doesn't matter. You speak to the farmers, you speak to the city folks. You can talk to people. Could you please help us to get lots of people there and celebrate our freedoms and celebrate our democracy? If you can do anything to talk to those media outlets that are willing to listen to maybe an alternative viewpoint, could you please talk some sense back into the media? We cannot continue on talking about cases when we are only talking about people that are positively tested with a test that is not even capable of doing a clinical test. This particular virus that causes the COVID-19 disease has to this very date not even been isolated. So what are we doing? We are creating fear-mongering for no reason. We have plenty of hospital beds, we have no death counts anymore, and this is happening around the world except for a very few countries like Sweden and Belarus. And Michelle, I think it's time to acknowledge that we have done mistakes, that we have overstepped the authority of government agencies, and we have overstepped our idea of how bad that virus is. And we need to come back to a normal that we are used to have. And there is nothing to fear right now. We will get another wave of flu in the fall, as we always do, and it won't be bad. And if somebody feels like if the new vaccine is coming out and they want to take it, they are free to take it. People are smart enough to do their own decisions. And I beg you to convey messages of freedom and peaceful disobedience of rules and regulations that have really no scientific foundation, absolutely none. I mean, I have informed myself over the last 5 months, and the deeper I inform myself, the more confused I become what the real agenda behind our whole coronavirus strategy and response really is. Michelle, I want to close this video. I'm just one single person making a video, and I do it privately, and I want to send it out to you, and I hope you listen to it. And even if my English skills are not as fluent and as elaborate as you would probably prefer to hear something or a message, but please try to encourage the people and help them, give them the right of the March of Freedom, help that no politicians and no police come there to disrupt a peaceful march for freedom. And let us finally lay that to rest, lay that whole thing to rest, and let's recover our economy, let's recover our social structures and our mental health. Michelle, that's what I'm most concerned about, is the mental health. It is incredible how many people are stressed out, how many people are opting to take their kids out of public school and try to homeschool them because there is measures being taken that are actually plain child abuse. It's like I'm divorcing my country, Canada, that I have chosen, because it just doesn't feel like Canada anymore. It feels like my Canada, my free country that I was so proud of when I told my fellow Germans how proud I am to live here, is falling apart. And I'm, at least internally, I'm feeling like I'm losing this relationship to my country. And maybe you can help me to find some hope again. Hope that we as the people and the few politicians like you that still want the best for the people, that we can come together peacefully and tell the different government levels of, if that is city government or provincial government or federal government, to back off and to give us the space we need to be really our best and to produce the best results for the country. And it's time. I think it's not a few minutes before 12. We are at 12 and the clock is ticking. And so I just hope that my message reaches you in good spirit and that you can see that I have good intentions. I'm gathering a group of people for the coming weekend to prime them to do an absolutely peaceful display of our passion for the country, our passion for people, our passion for children, and our passion for our future. Thank you so much, Michelle, for listening to this way longer video than I thought. And I hope I hear from you, or maybe you can give a message in the news and help people to understand where you are standing on that issue. Thank you very much.